Hey, this is Rick Casalage, injury specialist from exercisesforinjuries.com. In today's video, what I wanted to go through are relieving shoulder pain exercises specific for women. Now, Alex is going to go through the exercises. I'll highlight the details of the exercise, and Alex is going to go through the first exercise. Good. So it's 4-point alternating arm and leg. So how it breaks down, you're going to 4-point stance with the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and now and head, shoulders, and hips are in a straight line. You're going to tighten up the abdominal area. You're going to reach with one arm forward and alternate with the other leg. You're going to hold for a second. You're going to come back to that starting position, and then you're going to alternate to the other side. Good, and continuing back and forth. Perfect. Now looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity for this one, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 5 on each side, so you're alternating back and forth, it'll be 10 movements. The time of this, kind of the speed of this exercise, smooth controlled movement with a good stop at the end position. The intensity for this exercise is light, because we're working on like range of motion and activation, and the purpose of the exercise is to strengthen the muscles around the shoulder blade, so a lot of the smaller muscles, but also connecting those shoulder blade muscles with movements in with the muscles in the legs, specifically the glutes and the hamstrings, because strong glutes and hamstrings will help you when it comes to relieving shoulder pain. So that's the first exercise. Moving on to the next exercise, so staying on the floor. And with this one, you can go from the knees or you can go from the toes. You're in a push-up position. Okay, now I'll break it down. So from the knees or from the toes, you're in a straight line with the head, shoulders, and hips. You're going to go from the top position about halfway down. You're going to hold that halfway down position for a second or two, then moving to the bottom position, holding for a second or two, back halfway, and then back to the top. So this is kneeling halfway push-up holds. Now, the sets, reps, and time for this one, sets are 1, repetitions are 5, time, smooth controlled movement with a good stop at that middle and bottom position. We're looking at a stop for about a second or two. Now, the intensity of this exercise should be light to moderate, and the purpose of the exercise is really to strengthen up the muscles in the shoulders, specifically the muscles around the shoulder blade. Now we do the hold because a lot of people will just drop through the movement and not have the muscles work throughout the whole movement. So with the hold, it really does force the muscles to activate in the shoulders, specifically around the shoulder blade, which is what we want. Now moving on to the third exercise. So the third exercise involves resistive tubing, and Alex will go through it. It's called 3-way band pulls. Okay, perfect. And how it breaks down, so you've got the resistive tubing, and it's about shoulder width apart, and hands are just a touch below shoulder height, and then you're going to separate the hands. And then back to the start, you're going to move to an angle, separate the hands, back to the start, and then you're going to move to the other angle, separating the hands and back to the start. Perfect. Now looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity for this one, sets would be 1, repetitions, would be, I would move, you can start off with 5, but then progress on to 10. The intensity for this one, we really want it to be in the light and moderate side. We want to work those muscles around the shoulders, but we don't want the resistance to be so heavy that you shrug up those shoulders. We want those muscles around the shoulder blades to mainly be working. That's about it for that exercise. So now moving on to the fourth exercise. So with this one, utilizing the dumbbells, and what Alex is going to do is shoulder rolls. And how this one breaks down, you're nice and tall, you've got the weights in your hand, you're going to shrug up, and then roll back, and then come back to the start, and then shrug up and roll back. Perfect. Now looking at the sets, reps, time and intensity, sets are 1, repetitions would be 5, time, smooth controlled movement, so you're having good contraction throughout the whole movement, and the intensity would be light to moderate, so you want to pick a weight that's challenging and works the muscles around your shoulder blade. And the purpose of it, once again, this is twofold: to change the position of the shoulder so it's not so rounded, which most people are, especially if they sit lots, bringing that shoulder back. And the second thing is to kind of stretch out the front of the shoulder and activate those muscles around the shoulder blade. Okay, moving on to the 5th exercise, and this brings in the bands again. Okay, and with this one, it's banded elbow pulls. And how it breaks down, you have the resistive band, it's about shoulder width apart, you're got the palms up, you're going to bring the elbows close to your body, and now you're going to separate the hands, and then back to the start, and then separate the hands. Good. Now looking at the sets, reps, time and intensity, sets are 1, repetitions are 5, time, smooth controlled movement with a good stop at the end position. The intensity for this one will be light to moderate, and the purpose of this exercise, we're targeting the rotator cuff. So you have good posture while doing the exercise, and when you bring the hands out to the side, we're really targeting that rotator cuff muscle. So there you go, that ends up being the video, that ends up being 5 exercises that help relieve shoulder pain specific to women. Now if you want some other best tips and tricks when it relates to overcoming shoulder pain, then I recommend you click right here. I have a brand new free report called 5 Tips and Tricks that Fight Shoulder Pain and Tightness. Just click right here, let me know where to send you that report, and I'll send you that report right away. Now if you're watching this on a mobile device, tablet or smartphone, head down below in the description and click the first link, which will be exercisesforinjuries.com/shoulders. Let me know where to send you that report, and I'll send you that report right away. Now if you got benefit from this video, make sure to like this video. If you have a question or comment for me, leave it down below in the comments section. And lastly, hit subscribe to get future pain relieving videos.